All right. All right. So we got a special guest here today. This is One Mic So Focus here on YouTube. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, as well as hit the link in the description box. I got a special guest for me today. Let me take the damn Bluetooth out my ear. We got a special guest for us today. King Ezra, my brother from another mother. He's in the United States of America, by the way, and we're going to be here discussing some of the topics as far as moving on, relationships, the court systems, and how they deal with relationships on moving on, as well as being there for their kids. It's a pleasure to have you, King Ezra. You already know what it is, man. I know you got your own tribe and everything going on. Today we're here to talk about certain topics going on in the world today, according to the pandemic, aka pandemic. And it's an honor to have you here today, man. A lot of people don't know about this man. This man is great. He's a great man to his kids. He's doing a lot of things on the private side, as far as creating his own business, creating different solutions, helping out the homeless, thinking of different things on how to make people as a whole better. He's helping out his own country, his own nation. He's helping some of the people over here in the United States, creating jobs for people. He's got his own company. Um, Thank you for being here, King. I just want to ask you a question, man, before we begin. How was your day today?
My day was fine. It can't complain. Everything's running smoothly. Everything's going according to plan. It's great to be alive in the midst of chaos, and I'm glad to be on the call with you.
All right, all right. Yo, man, I gotta ask you a question. All right, in today's society with all the bullshit going on, man, what's your outlook on thoughts for family? Like, when the relationship is good, what's your idea? What's your thoughts on family as a whole, period, as a man in America?
Yeah. Well, my idea as a whole, as a man, is that basically every man has. We are born with values. We are born with certain characteristics, and we come into this world with those values, but we have to be cultured. We have to be cultivated in the midst of what we don't know what we may face in the future. And so, right now, in the midst of what's going on in my personal life and in other people's lives that I've seen, I learned to cope with whatever that I have to deal with, but think about it as how does it benefit me to help others in the midst of chaos, in the midst of what I'm going through. One of the principles I do remember is to always remain calm, respectful, and
Mhm.
also remain in truth. Those three things: calm, respectful, and remain in truth.
Right, right. That's definitely what's up, man. A lot of men need to wake up. There's a lot of men that are living their lives, stressed. It's hard to be stand in honor. A lot of us we stand honor, and some
Mhm.
people don't like to stand honor. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, as far as all the advantages and disadvantages that's up against men
Mhm.
in general, period, when it comes to family.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, King?
Yeah, I can hear you. We got kind of cut off there. I was saying certain things that, a lot of us men in America uh have to do to stay in honor. They don't realize that there's a lot of odds that are stacked up against us when it comes down to
Mhm.
family, when we have to do what we have to do. What's your thoughts on that?
Mhm. Well, yeah, I'm in agreement with that statement because it encompasses the whole globe, not just the trying to stay in honor, but the odds are more so against us who do stay in honor, because the massive, the media would say that men do not stay in honor. The media will make claims that we are deadbeats. So all of these different phrases or quote unquote lies that has been propaganded towards us fathers, we have to constantly to prove ourselves that we are not what they claim we are. And so we constantly is in this constantly uphill battle that seems like it would never end. But there's a beginning and ending to everything. And so I look at it like this, is that, well, it's a learning experience. I can take what has been done to me, and then the next generation behind me, I can, teach them what I know, teach them what I've been through, and hopefully that they would take it and learn from it and be able to teach those behind them.
Damn, that's good looks, man. That's definitely good looks. A lot of people have to take to that knowledge in order to have an overstanding on how to be better and how to make themselves better and pass on the torch to the future generation. Because that's what we're supposed to do as men. Before we go, we're supposed to
Right.
invest, create new paths
Mm-hmm.
to where we don't have to constantly have to work for a company. We'll have our own company.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have our own investments set aside, and then we pass that on to the
Mm-hmm.
future generation after we teach
Right.
them to have values, morals, and standards on how to handle those things, so that way they could pass that on, and so on and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. But I got more questions
Mm-hmm.
to ask you, since I know you're great, and we're all great in our own way. What's your thoughts on modern day relationships as far as today, man? I know that hit hard. I know you being from the motherland and all, y'all got the ladies out there and shit, He had to drink on that one.
The truth of the matter is, let me tell you this. Well, my take on the modern day relationships and women in general is that we as fathers now has been waking up. We are waking up one by
Right.
one. It may be in the thousands, but the point of the matter is that the mask of relationships are being scaled away.
Right.
So my take on today's relationship is I don't think that relationships without going through the ropes of what it means to have value from a man's perspective versus a woman's perspective. Because if today's modern women today do not understand today's modern king, okay?
Right.
Because now we have adapted to a whole new different era. We are living in a whole different era. And so what our fathers and mothers used to go through in their relationships and how women view their husband back then is not the same way as it is today.
Yeah.
And so now we have to be very careful who we want to engage with and who we want to build a family with, because in today's world, many women have already adapted to their own mindset, their own ways, and their own agendas. They don't have accountability. They don't want to have accountability and be responsible for their own behavior and action.
I think a lot of
So,
that shit. Sorry to cut you off. I think a lot of that shit came from the home. Because you figure, all right, here's the dynamic: the man and the woman. The man is supposed to be the head, the woman is supposed to be the neck that leads towards the body. He's supposed to be leading and she's supposed to follow. Nowadays, I keep seeing a lot of situations where a lot of women say, well, I don't need no man. And then they wonder why they can't find one, because they chase them away. They figure not to be held accountable because of the way how they were raised. And that makes it bad, because I'm not saying that's all women or all men that were taught a certain way, as far as being in a relationship or having respect for the relationship, holding down those values. They figure they do what they want and not having any respect for the relationship. And I think that's another thing that's constantly breaking up the family dynamic. A woman claims to be independent, but she still relies on the man and manly things to get certain things done. It doesn't
Mm.
work that way, but she wants a relationship. She wants to control that relationship, and not that many men are going for that today. I mean,
Mm.
what's your take on that?
Yeah. Yeah. My take on that is it's the same, but I want to kind of take it to another level. You see, when they took prayer out of school, they took everything away
Mm,
because that was the basis of everyone being on the same level field that we all need God. Without God, we can't do nothing. So
right.
without a man being in a relationship, or when a woman says that she doesn't need a man, she's really saying, I don't need my God. Because
Ooh.
that's the way God sets it in order. You
Mm,
cannot go above scripture when the word of God says to honor and reverence your husband,
mm,
reverence and honor your king, your superior, the man who has authority and rulership over you.
right.
So now today, a lot of women don't want to be held responsible because they don't want to listen to instructions. They don't want to submit. It's all about submission with them, and
Yeah.
they to them submission is out the window. They don't know anything about submitting, and submitting is not about you being a dog, you being a cat, you being an
Or a
animal. You do what
slave.
I
Yeah.
say do,
I
or a
seen that.
slave.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of women, they this is what they feel, that how can a man who's flesh and blood, just like me, flesh and blood, tell me what to do? Well, you go talk to the creator. He's the one that set things in line. He's the
Hmm.
one that set things in order universally.
Yeah.
Universally. So that means that if he says that you have to submit to me, that means that you have no say so in the matter. If he
Yeah.
said honor your husband and obey your husband in everything, you got to obey your husband in everything. So the modern day women today don't want to hear that. They stray away from it. They into this feminist movement. I can
Hmm.
do what I want to do. I don't have to be accountable to nobody. I can say what I want to say, but then at the end of the day, they go home alone.
Yeah, I think of it like this, and it's not to talk bad about anyone. I think a lot of the roles have been forgotten, and what happens when you lose that role, you can't expect for somebody else to play that role when you're already playing it. If you want to be independent, if you want to be in control in a relationship when it's supposed to be, a shared responsibility. I know me as a masculine man, you as a masculine man, you wouldn't want a masculine woman coming around. You want a woman that's in there feminine, in her feminine frame. You don't want a masculine woman coming around. No, ain't nobody going for that shit this day.
Yeah, because today's women in society, not all women. So
Uh-huh.
in today's society, we have so many women wearing the pants of masculinity.
Right.
Okay, they don't know anything about being feminine.
Not a lot of them
They are
do.
clueless. They don't have a
Yeah.
clue.
And then the thing is
So
that gets me is when a feminine woman comes around and that masculine woman is doing all of this, the feminine woman will just, stand there, look aside, and then by then, you know what? That dude's gone. He went home with her. He done
yeah,
left.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, that's the. Let me say this. That's the problem, that today's feminine women, they have no clue of what it means to walk in your God-given authority as a woman, as a weaker vessel. Feminine means to be weak, means to allow yourself to succumb under authority, to allow yourself to be free. Well, basically, it means to be yourself and to allow yourself to be free under
Mhm.
one's authority, right?
Right.
In order to have authority, authority has been given to you.
Right.
So, another, for a woman to be submissive, she has to know that she is under something, she is under someone.
Yeah.
So that means that everything that a woman is doing in the world today, she have to understand that you cannot be feminine and masculine at the same time.
It
It
just
ain't
doesn't
gonna
work
work.
that way. Yeah.
You cannot, right. You cannot put on, one day you want to be masculine and one day you want to be feminine. It doesn't work like that. God
Yeah.
didn't give you God did not give you the genes of, okay, you wearing the authority of a man, and then next day you wear the authority of a woman. It doesn't work like that. You have
Right.
to be, you have to listen. It's just like God said, choose you this day who you're gonna serve, me
Yeah,
or money. Well, when women choose you today, if you're gonna be feminine or you're gonna be masculine. That's it.
that's it. For real. I got some other questions moving forward.
Go ahead, King.
What are your thoughts on kids and relationships? I know there's a lot of men out there that got kids, and like we said before, the feminine and the masculinity, and the heads clashing and everything like that, and relationships, certain relationships in the world that didn't work out. We already know that a majority of them are becoming unresolvable. It's like no matter what you do, especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic individual and things just ain't work out, things seem to be okay in the beginning because a lot of men, a lot of us didn't see those red flags when those relationships don't work out. And then now there's kids in the mix. And I'm sure you have, if you do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, you already know, like, did you ever have any situations where things didn't work out?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
I mean, what's your thoughts on as far as how men or how women should go about relationships after the relationship is over and it just didn't work out? It's just unresolvable. What's your thoughts on that?
Um,
How to go
okay, well,
about dealing
first
with
of
the
all, if
kids
you
and
didn't,
the mother?
okay. Well, first of all, you have to draw the line, the difference between the relationship and the relationship with your children if it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because we know that all relationships, you can't, let's say the divorce rate is really high. It's been high for some time now. The
Yeah.
percentage is very high. So it's because someone came into the relationship with unresolved issues.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's, yeah. Someone came in the relationship and had a premeditated thought on how they want to portray themselves in that relationship. You
Right.
just don't go into the relationship and say, "Oh, I want to be married and I want to have children." There are when it comes to women, and I'm speaking about women because of the treachery and the fraud and the schemes and the lies and the manipulation. This is what narcissistic women do. Not all
Right.
of them, but most of them.
Yeah. So we're
So
not
they
we're
go
not
into the
talking about the
relation.
regular, we're not talking about the regular woman that actually do keep their shit intact and their game on A1. They got a good name going for themselves. They're not doing none of that negative shit that a lot of these modern women are doing. Let's just keep that. Let's get that on the record straight. We're not trying to dish y'all good women out there. We love y'all. We're
Right.
talking about the
Yeah,
fucked up
I
women.
want to say this for the record too, for every woman out there who doesn't have the characteristics of a narcissistic personality. We're speaking on the women who intentionally want to hold bitterness and unforgiveness and resentment in their heart just to get back towards the children's father, and they
Yeah.
use that as a way. They use the children as a weapon against the father, and they should never do that.
Yeah, we see a lot of that
So
on videos,
we
especially
should we
when men
see a
getting
lot.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The video that you sent me the other day was just mind-boggling. Having an ex being in another relationship and using that present relationship, that man, to murder the children or to murder that daughter's father is out cold, out blood. It's cold blooded. You know, we're living in a time now that most of these women out here is out for blood. If they're not out for blood, they're out for you to be incarcerated. So when a woman comes into the relationship, and if she coming with trash, bondage, baggage, whatever, what she's really saying is, I'm not willing to deal with all of these issues I'm bringing in a relationship. I want to get what I can get. I want to
Mm.
milk the cow. I want to milk the cow as much as possible, and also I want to have a baby from this man. So therefore, I can be able to, when I eventually land in another relationship, not only I would have his child, I would be in another relationship collecting money from the state. on his behalf. His money, his hard-earned money from his estate, she'll be milking the cow from that too.
Damn.
So, and this means that the woman has no remorse. Narcissistic women, they have no remorse in what they do in a relationship towards the children's father. At the end of the day, it is the offspring that end up suffering from the relationship,
Yeah. So
from
now,
both parents.
exactly. So you already saw from the article event that I sent to you that that man was there visiting, trying to take the time to spend time with his kids and meet up with his baby mother and the new guy. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the new guy had shot the child's father right in front of the child. And you got to remember who filled his head up. And from the what the neighborhood said, that that man was a good role model for the neighborhood. He would help out the neighborhood. He was a good father to his kids. And now everybody is taking a serious loss. That's what a lot of men got forward to look to when dealing with a narcissistic individual, or whenever a relationship ends not on good terms, So now here it is, you got that guy that's involved with her in that relationship. He, after maybe what she filled his head up with, he's going to jail for a while. He's not getting bond for shooting another man, for shooting another man right in front of his kid. Now, that man that has been shot, he's dead. So now the child is going to grow up without a father, and the mother's scot-free. She's going to go ahead and walk off to somebody else. A lot of men need to have that mindset. If things don't work out, you got to know what to do. Same thing with the women. Some women might go through baby daddy drama. Baby daddy drama where he's showing up at your door, or she's she don't really want to deal with him. And it's just a whole dynamic of back and forth going on. A lot of people really need to focus in making peace in these times, because these are some dangerous times. People ain't having that no more. You see men killing their ex-girlfriends. You see women killing their ex-boyfriends. It's crazy out there. It's sick.
It's real crazy, because let me say this, King. See, what I learned in the process over the course of the months and the years of being on child support and seeing other fathers in child support has really, really given me the go ahead to really share the message on a large scale, right? So the narcissistic woman knows there's two things that that she has that she can use against the father, because she's bitter and she wants to see him drown in his own blood, right?
Right.
So she knows that if she gets into the relationship and she's with someone who's jealous, someone who very controlling, she knows that the children's father is threatened, can be threatened. And she also knows that with another weapon she has is calling the cops.
Weaponizing.
So you got two things. You got two different scenarios that works against the fathers off the rip. You have the new man in the house who wants to say that he is the one that's taking care of the offspring. And then you have the state, and the state uses force by means using the police department. All right. So off the rip, the father has to deal with those two things just off the rip. And so his life is already, being threatened.
Yeah, included financially too. Included financially.
I was getting ready to go there,
Okay.
but I didn't want to say that. I was getting
Right.
ready to go there. I kid you not. I was getting ready to go there, but when we talk about the shooting of this particular father days ago, it was very sad, and my mind became really open. It's like, oh wow, the women know that they have it to their advantage. The narcissistic women, they know they have it to their advantage to use such force against, you know, their past spouse, you know. So it's sad, but that's the reality. That's the world that we're living in today.
Yeah. Damn. I just can't believe that, man. This kind of shit is actually, in America, and it's affecting a lot of fathers that actually want to be there for their kids.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts? Speaking on child support, man, what are your thoughts on child support, bro? Like, I know that this shit is hard hit. I know it's affected a lot of men. A lot of men went to jail for this shit. Supposedly, from what I heard, is it's like a fraudulent debt. It's like a fraudulent contract that's signed over by the state to steal from hardworking fathers and stuff like that. It's pandemonium. I've heard of some corrupt shit, but never this damn corrupt. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts on that, King
Um,
Ezra?
King Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna take a lot of interviews, not just with me, but a host of other fathers who have experienced what you and I have experienced.
Yeah,
So my take on the system when it comes to child support, eventually it's going to come down because there's a time and a season for everything. There's
yeah,
a beginning and end to all things. So there's going to be a time eventually that the system, as we know it, the child support, um, that whole private entity is going to start to crumble. It's going to start to encave. You know,
hmm,
um, it's sad that our government and the politicians and those who we put in office is allowing such tyranny to be going on a yearly basis,
mm,
day after day, week after week. Fraud is being committed. And you know, there's no statutory limit to fraud, right?
right.
But fraud is constantly being the forefront of their scheme. They're robbing the fathers, the poor fathers, to make ends meet. They are manipulating the mothers, you know, in the system, and the system is actually triple dipping, right?
Hmm.
On three levels, they're triple dipping, and not only that, they're causing such a huge division amongst the family, separating, causing the women to be enslaved, making them to be enslaved, making them dumb, right? Um, all of their five senses is going out the window because now the women can't think for themselves. The state is what's thinking for them, right?
Mm,
So now
yeah,
they're actually walking around, to me, you know, and this is my personal opinion, they're walking around clueless to what's going on. That's what really is happening. It's like walking zombies. You don't know if
mm,
you're human. You don't know if you're a zombie. You don't know, you know?
right.
So these women are walking around as a type of, like a zombie. They're being controlled by some system, you know? And we fathers, on the other hand, we have to bear the pain, the suffering, and the backlashes of being called all kind of names from the system. And the system and the media are one, because whatever they tell the media is going to blow it up. The media is the one that's going to enhance, and you know what the word enhance means, to
Yep,
increase
modify all
something,
this other shit.
to modify, to make something bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
So the women feed on that. They feed on that.
Mm.
And as they feed on it, other people begin to feed on it, and it begins to grow and grow and grow. This is why it's so hard to get out of the system, because some woman today was not in the system and did not have a thought of bringing their significant other into the system unless another woman has spoken into her ear.
So
And
let me ask you a question about that. So you mean to tell me that they get these women in the ear, they put in some kind of word, and they put the bug in their ear, so to speak. That's what we call it. We call it over here the bug in the ear. When they put the bug in their ear and they sign because they own
Yeah.
benefits and privileges. If they don't sign it, then they don't get the benefits and privileges, and then they don't get the money. But they don't realize that they could have so much more if they would have just worked it out with the father. I
And
mean, you
that's
would
the
have got more
whole,
working it
that's
out
the
with the
whole,
father. Uh-huh.
that's the,
And
that's, yeah, that's the whole, you see, the rabbit hole runs really deep because that is true. The caseworkers who work behind the scene to get funds or commissions to enslave that father, they're happy that they're doing that. They're happy to know that, oh wow, not only I'm getting a check, but I'm also getting a commission. And anyone in that child support enforcement agency or child support agency around the country is receiving some kind of stifling to enslave the fathers. And the
shit,
women are listening to it. They're taking the bait. They're eating that cheese. That's what I call it. They're eating the sour cheese. And they're saying this is more worth than being with my children's offspring. Let me go ahead and bite the cheese because I want to stay on government assistance. I want to be able to live the way I want to live to. But again, going back to what I was saying, without being accountable. And also, yeah, I want to be able to take everything he got or whatever he's getting ready to make. I'm putting my name right on the dotted line on the contract. And you don't even know what went down.
you don't
You
even
have
know
no
what they
clue.
signed. They don't know what they signed.
Yeah, you don't even know what they signed. So when you talk about them speaking in a woman's ears, when speaking, they're not just speaking in her ear, they're speaking into her mind. In other words, they're engaged in that mind. They're really telling the mind, I want you to do this. And it's like mind control,
Right.
mind control, putting fear in a woman's heart that if you don't do this, if you don't do that, then you cannot get tannin, you cannot get food, other things, you can't work here, you can't work there, you're gonna have to depend on us. That's kind of.
Yeah, that shit is crazy, man. We're gonna have to say that. I think that's gonna last. That's gonna last us on this interview all fucking night. So let's just move on from that, man. But yeah, I heard it here. What are your thoughts on moving on from relationships that are unresolvable, as far as men and women coming to terms and saying, hey, you know what, this shit ain't working out. We need to find something out. And what would you do if the shit wasn't resolvable? Like, how would you go about it? I want to hear it because Reggie, we had an interview with him a couple of days ago. He gave his 2 cents on it. What's your 2 cents on it, King?
My 2 cents is okay. There are some relationships you can't resolve, and certain relationships you can, right?
Right.
Any woman who is true to the game and know her value, she'll submit herself, she'll humble herself for the betterment for the offspring, so that the offspring can be able to have a relationship, a consistent relationship with their father.
Wow.
So it all starts from the woman knowing her value, knowing that she first of all, you can't talk to a dead corpse because the dead corpse cannot have no response.
Right.
The dead corpse cannot speak back. The dead corpse cannot take instruction, right? A
Right.
dead corpse cannot submit. So what happens is women refuse to submit are like walking dead corpse. Yeah.
Damn. That shit's ill,
Zombies.
man. I
They're like
I
zombies
don't.
because they like zombies simply because the mind has been allowed the system to manipulate their thinking pattern, their
Right.
thinking pattern,
Right.
right? So the system in general is their God. System, how would they survive? Without the system, how would they really eat? It's going to fall back on what? From the beginning, the father's doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Because if the system, let me tell you something, if child support was never in the game or never existed, let me say, do you think women would have a leg to stand on today? No.
No, not really. No, I personally think that it depends on, you know, her mindset and how she's handling things, along with coordinates with the father. If she's in line with the father and she's doing what she got to do, and the father's doing what he has to do, you know, then that shit could work out of the relationship. I mean, just like, you know, relationship over. You do your thing, I do my thing, but we mainly focus on the offspring. You know, not a lot of people have that. They'll just say, like you said before, they'll have that lack of accountability, lack of an abundance mindset, both sides, and she'll be like, well, I do everything. Okay, well, let me ask you this. If you were doing everything, why do you have that man on child support? If you're
Mm-hmm.
independent, you wouldn't need to do that. Furthermore, if you're independent, why are you relying on the system, which is only meant for the families that do need it? You're on it because you want to stay on it, and you know you're comfortable. I know me. I don't want anything to have to rely on the next person to be in control of my life, because when you have that, you're basically saying that you're a minor, you're not capable of handling your own affairs, and that you're not in line with yourself. You don't want to be on the system forever. You want to, if you had to and you had no choice, you could momentarily stay on it, but don't stay on it to the point to where you're comfortable and other people that need it can't get it because you're relying on it. And this is what we're dealing with today. I mean, it doesn't even make any
Yeah.
sense to get married, because a lot of people need to have an understanding of, or overstanding, not an understanding, but an overstanding that when you get married, okay, when you get married, you're not getting married to one another, you know, holy vows and matrimony, living happily ever after and laugh, all of that shit. No, you're getting married to the state. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting married to the state, and they're making bonds off of your time, your hard-earned money. Both sides are coming together like companies, collateral, and they got that marriage certificate. So what happens? That contract that you signed to get that marriage certificate, you put your private business out there in the public. So anything that you made, anything that you earn, any property, assets that you have that you worked hard for, both sides now, you're both gonna lose that shit. The woman may be happy that, yay, I got my part of the house, I got the house, yay, and that man don't get shit. In the meanwhile, who's taking the money on the private side? Because you don't realize that you could turn that marriage certificate back in and y'all both could go your own ways. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
ever thought of that. The
Mm-hmm.
marriage is not about you. It's your oath that you made between your lady and you have the state over you both. So you both lost. That's what a lot of people need to take into accountability. Know what you're getting into. Keep your private affairs private. Never take it out in the public. That's why I said people need to come together and realize that when you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship, you keep it private. When you
Mm-hmm.
take in your private affairs to the courts, you just made your shit public. So now everybody's gonna be in your business. Nobody's gonna win, and you're both messed up, and you involve your kids in it too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot to learn, and I want
Mm-hmm.
everybody to experience that, because I want people to have more of an understanding of what they may be getting into before they get into it. You know, they have to know these type of things. You know, they have to know. They have to know. So that way, when it does come at them, they need to say, well, okay, if I'm going to get involved with this person, what kind of red flags did they have? What kind of unresolved issues did they have during their childhood before I get involved with them? Because if it don't get resolved and you
Mm-hmm.
still dealing with them, it's still there. Now you're dealing with someone who could be potentially dangerous in your progression in the future. Things you want to have, things you want to share with that person, things you want to teach that person. But if you're taking one step forward and five steps back because this person is just a problem that just cannot be resolved, you eventually have to develop an abundance mindset. Most of all, work on yourself and just say, this isn't working. I need to go. I have other
Mm-hmm.
plans. I have things that I want to leave behind. I have things that I'm working on to become a better person and to make sure that I stay in honor and, leave my offspring something behind. You have to be great. Doesn't matter if you're man
Mm,
or woman, you have to be great. You have to leave something behind for your offspring to make sure that both sides have what they need and to not depend upon the system. The
mm,
system is only meant for the people that need it, not for the people that want to stay on it, people. And I just want to say that. Um,
mm.
any other topics you want to touch on, King? Because I know you got a lot to say, man.
Man, you said a plate full. I want to touch on something when it comes to the state. See, the state is another form of control, another form of authority.
Mm-hmm.
The state. I look at the state like the umbrella of the world of that family.
Mm-hmm.
That family is controlled by the state authority, right? And the only
Right.
reason why I can say that because I've been there, done that, was married before, and had to apply for benefits under the state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I knew they ask all kinds of information. They want to know everything about you. They want to know what's in your bank account, how much you make on a weekly basis.
Oh
Um,
shit.
how many people in the household? Uh, what kind of food y'all like. Um, the man cannot do certain things. He has to be in the house, in the household in order to receive benefits. If he's not, let's say you're working in a city and you're not home for a period of time. Okay, they said a man has to be in the household. Well, what if he's traveling and he's
Mm-hmm.
working? They don't understand that. The state again is a dead corporation. So it's the people in the state that's controlling that union.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of times, uh, you know, via trial and error, we get married, we get divorced, we get married, we get divorced and everything. And we think that the government has our back, and they do not. We've been
Shit.
we've been we've been lied a piece of beans. I say a piece of beans. Yeah, we've been lied, and they've been telling us all these things. What they see, what happens is the state is like the bait. We're going to give you this based on condition, and everything that the state wants to do, they want to control that union. And in order to control that union, it's just like the devil when the devil told Christ, give me this and I give you the whole world. If you bow down before me, it was based off a condition. Yeah. So the state is saying, I want you guys to bow down before me. And if you for me, I'm going to give you these benefits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, the men don't bow down because we men, we stand firm, you know, we stand firm on our 2 feet, and we do not allow pretty much anything to shake us, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that shake us is when our offspring has been stripped away from us, has been
Yeah.
have been taken away from us without due process of law,
Mm.
without us having anything to say, regarding the theft of our children. So the state is the one who plans all these things out. The people who works in the state, that if the marriage don't work out, we have a plan of action. It's
Mm.
going to benefit the mother, but it's going to be detrimental to the father. You get
Speaking
what
of
I'm saying?
detrimental,
So they
speaking of
already
detriment,
know.
uh-huh.
They already know in on the onset, just like the women who come in. A lot of the women who come in to gain something, not to give, because see, the relationship is reciprocal. The relationship should be reciprocal on all things. I give to you, you give me. Like sex. Sex is reciprocal. You can't have sex by yourself.
That's
If I
true.
want to have sex with you, you want to have sex with me, guess what? It's reciprocal. I got to put myself in you, and you got to allow me to do it.
Exactly. It takes
Cool.
two. It takes two when
It
it comes
takes
down to a
two.
relationship.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it takes two, right? So
Yep.
women go in to think that, oh, give me, give me, give me. I want security. I want, first of all, I want love, I want security, I want support, and I want safety.
Yeah.
So we just come into the relationship, we give love, we give security, we give all these different things, right?
She's
But
support.
what do the women? But they just want to just lay down, open up their legs and say, okay, this is all I'm going to give you. But they don't come in and say, I'm going to show you respect, but I can support your dreams, your visions. I'm going to make sure I hear you. I'm going to make sure I submit to you. These are something that women miss, you know,
Yeah.
for many years. And that caused relationships to go like this, to become separated, because women ain't thinking about coming in a relationship. Most of them are not thinking about coming into the relationship and see, what can I bring to the table? What
Yeah,
can
but
I do?
I
We don't
usually,
want to talk about the state. We don't want to talk about the state. I want to know, how can I benefit you and how you can benefit me. At the end of the day, you're to the tango. Go ahead, King. I'm sorry.
that's real
I'm
shit.
sorry, man.
That's real shit right there. Like, you know, that old facts, you know. But I'm thinking of it as like this, you know, like we always say, what brings it to the table, right? What does she bring it to the table? I think a lot of women get offended by that. I'm not trying to take sides, but I think of it like this. If men want to be more
I'm
clear,
sorry to cut you off, because now I get so excited that when I'm like dating women, like not dating women, but meeting women and to see if I want to date them, the first thing I ask them after a couple of statements I make is like, what are you bringing to the
yeah, but
table? Table? What you mean?
yeah, no, but look, they get a
I'm telling you the truth,
yeah.
Mike. They get offended. What you
No,
mean when I
no, no,
bring it to
no,
the
no.
table?
Here,
Yes.
I got another way to bring it around. Someone mentioned way back when I was watching another video right on YouTube, and this guy, he was like, a lot of women get offended when a lot of men say, what do they bring to the table? But if we could switch that question up for them, like say for example, like a lot of women like to play subliminals, right? So instead of saying, what do you bring to the table? It makes it sound like it's a business deal. So she might try to flip it around and say, well, you know, that sounds like you're broke. But to flip that back around on her, what a lot of the fellas got to say is this. Well, you know what? It ain't even about what you could bring to the table. What do you have to bring towards this relationship and union between you and I? When you say that,
Right.
and she has to think to herself, okay, this isn't about business. He's keeping it business wise, but what is he saying about the relationship between me and him? And you brought it out there, relationship. So she has a clear understanding of what's going down, you know, at the end of the day. She can't rebut that. If she talks around that, then just leave her alone. She's not ready. You know what I'm saying? You got to leave her right there. You got to let her stress at where the cooch gooch rest at. You feel me? So I feel you on that, King. But yeah, man. I mean, like, what's your thoughts on that? Because we're about to close out, man. What's your thoughts on that, brother?
Well, if a woman is coming and she's looking good, she's fine, she's sexy and everything,
Yeah,
and then you know, you're coaching her. You just want, you know, you're not trying to offend her. You're not trying to get her off a square. You
right,
just want to know where you stand, where we stand together, right? Because
right.
it's all about what are we bringing together as a couple, right?
Yeah,
So I think that I don't think it's nothing wrong for a man to desire a woman to do certain things in a relationship or to bring certain things into a relationship. At the end of the day, a woman's going to expect a man to do certain things for her. So then, therefore, it is time for women to step up to the plate and step up to the game and learn how to be women. And because in the biblical sense, a helpmeet, a wife is a title of a helpmeet. That is what she's supposed to do. And help can be many things, right? So if I'm lawning the yarn and everything, and making sure the landscape looks good, what are you doing? You need to be out there sweeping. You need to be out there ranking the leaves and everything, and putting the leaves in the bag. If I'm going to, if I'm going to lawn the garden, the grass, then I need your assistance. I need your help. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think if a lot of couples had that mindset on, backing them up, backing the man up, and backing each other up, most of all,
Yeah,
a lot of things would go smooth. You know what I'm saying? There
yeah.
wouldn't be that many drama because that one person won't be so stressed out about pulling the cart as one horse all the damn time. I
Well,
think that,
it's almost like a woman when she comes to the relationship and
yeah,
she wants something, everything be given to her. Meaning like, okay, I'm just good for us to just lay down and have sex and everything. That's all I have to offer in the relationship. No, 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 no,
nah,
no, no.
hell
Don't get
nah,
it
hell
twisted.
nah.
No, no. Because when you say that, you're really saying that I'm useless,
I'm
that you can use
selfish.
me for, yeah, I'm selfish, that you think you can use me for all of my resources, time, labor, efforts, and everything while you sit back and do nothing? No.
Nah,
And
we don't do those.
most narcissistic women are lazy. They are controlling. They are very manipulative. So in order for that man to succeed in life, he needs to get rid of women who has narcissistic characteristics.
Yeah, them chicks
That's
get
it.
brushed to the side all day. Let the
So
woman
you
that's
don't
actually
come
gonna
to
do
me.
something come through and handle that,
Yeah,
in a good way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And we men now has been a lot of us brothers. We men, we are being awakened at alarming number. We're not taking all of this because you look good. Oh yeah, I'm going to do everything for you. I'm going to date you. I'm
Oh,
going to
that
make
shit's out
sure
the
that I
window.
put the red carpet down for you. That time is over.
Yeah,
That
chivalry is
that day,
dead, pretty much.
we'll
Yeah.
never see that time no more. We'll never
Nope.
see that again.
That shit's
Mm-mm.
over.
Go ahead, King.
Yeah, man. But um
I ain't gonna hold no punches. I know what
yeah,
I know what I've been through, King. And one thing for sure, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything what I've been through. I've
yeah,
seen it and I've witnessed it, I've experienced it. And so I'm gonna, help spread the word because
yeah.
child support um is a beast. That's all it is. It's nothing but a beast. The system itself is a beast.
Slay
But
that
that beast
dragon.
is destroyed. That dragon is going to be destroyed. And the only
Yeah,
one who can destroy it is God.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, man. Let's just get one last question in before we dip out. What do you have to say for all the viewers out there, all the ladies, all the fellas about moving on from your relationships, long-term relationships, short-term relationships? Like what have you got to say about that? Because we're about to close out, and in that kind of stuff, in that sense, man. What do you have like as far as mindset, like would it be?
Okay. Mindset wise, come in with the mindset that you are a human being and you have rights, male and female. Know your rights, know where you stand, be accountable. You have to be accountable to someone. If you are in a relationship, it has to be equal respect, okay? And you have to be transparent to each other. You can't be on your phone and your man is trying to talk to you and you're like all into your Instagram account and you don't want to take accountability of your actions, what you did, because he's trying to ask you, why did you do this? Why did you do that? To make him look ashamed, or embarrassed. So this is for the men and the women. Stay out of child support. If you're in child support and get out of child support. Make them pay. Make them prove that you are a deadbeat dad. Make them prove. Don't accept the status quo. Learn, learn the ropes. Do what you need to do to get out of the system. Don't allow the system to enslave you and keep you away from your offspring. And to the women, if you have done certain things to degrade that man and to cause that man emotional damage, physical damage, enslavement, and all of those things, you owe that man an apology. You owe that man, the children's father, a big apology. And you need to go down to that office and tell them, listen, this is not what I want for my children's father. please, I want to rescind my signature on that contract. Because at the end of the day, this goes for man and woman. What you do to that person, the same thing you do to that person, somewhere along the line is going to affect you, or it's going to come to your offspring. And that's a dangerous thing. You don't want karma to come and hunt you.
That's right. That's some shit. Hey man, I couldn't have heard it any better, bro. But I just want to say I'm gonna let you go ahead and handle your business, man. I just wanted to take up a little bit of your time. I know you got to get back to what you got going on, the business wise and everything like that, man. Definitely link up. Tell your friends about me. Link is in the description box. If you like what you see, man, this is some real shit right here. Subscribe to the channel. Put other people on. You know what I'm saying? If you want a consultation with me to help you get your life together, to get your shit together, and to basically become the best person in life you could ever become, you know, check out the link in the description channel. Subscribe, man. Check out my videos. My videos, they may not have much, but there's more content coming. We got King Ezra on the line. I want to say thank you so much for, coming down here on such short notice and making sure that the fellas and the ladies hear the truth about what's going on in this world. We had King Reggie, we had King Ezra. We're gonna have some more people. The shit's about to get popping because we got our scene, we got our people, we got our whole shit going on. I'm gonna try to put other people on and make sure that this whole shindig comes is gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great, man. Fathers, people that are becoming fathers, people that want to become fathers, mothers. We're gonna have mothers on the show real soon. How they dealt with different speculations from the system, how to move on from relationships, how to become a better person in their life, and to make better decisions. I've seen people, on different channels, different content, creative media that you'll see fathers go through it. You'll see fathers get hurt, get killed, or take revenge because nobody else won't listen to them. We're here to make each other great. We're here to put other people on. There's no reason why you should not become better and have an outlet and a channel for people to talk to make yourselves better. And I want to say thanks again, King Ezra, for having you up on our show. And we out, man. Anything y'all want to say?
No, thank you for having me on your channel. This is a wonderful thing, and you're doing a great job. I'm glad to be here.
Appreciate
Anytime
it. Appreciate
you need to be here, just let me know. Thank you.
All right, King. All right, y'all. YouTube, we'll check you out on the next go round. All right. Peace.
Peace.